everyone! I'm Munchkin from Munchkin's Wicked Reads, and today we are going to be covering all of the books that I received at Bookcon. Let's get started. So, my first bought Bookcon book was A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. It is the second book of A Court of Thorns and Roses series, and this was my all-time favorite book of 2016. I have the hard copy of it. It's up there. Lexi bought a bunch of Sarah J. Maas books, so I thought I would buy one as well. Peer pressure. It's not that bad. So the second book that I bought is The Alpha Drive by Kristen Martin. So this book is a dystopian. It takes place in 2055. This book is about a girl named Emery Parker who is described as an introverter, and apparently a bunch of mankind is living in a place called Dormants, which is an alternate reality. So she has to jump onto this quest to free everyone from the Dormants, and she gets in contact with a dormant person named Torrin Parter. So I guess she has to kind of reveal or figure out the secrets to the Dormants and free them, and I guess her price, if it fails, is that her memory will be wiped. The next books that I purchased is the full series of The Whispers of the Fallen by J.D. Netto. He was so kind, and I actually bought his first book last year in Chicago. So we have The Whispers of the Fallen, Rebellion, The Gathering of Shadows, and we have a little novella of The Whispers of the Fallen, Descent. On the back it says, "The darkness is rising, the book has been found, and the dark one approaches." Dun dun dun. This series is about two friends, Isaac and Dimitri, who discover Lucifer's diary, and they are kind of forced to go on this dangerous journey to return it, I'm guessing, and kind of try and find people to like join in on this journey with them. Along the way, they find Nephilims and fallen stars. This sounds very action-packed, which is right up my alley. The last books that I bought are two that are out of a trilogy, and the first one is called Shattered Blue, and the second one is called Renegade Red. These are both by Lauren Bird Horowitz. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your last name. I got it signed, and that was really exciting. Signature! This is a Fae story. So, it's, here I was thinking it was going to be like kind of like a sci-fi kind of story, because I mean, it kind of looks all spacey. It's like star-crossed lovers. Oh my gosh, it sounds so cute. Two people, Noah and Callum. Noah is a girl's name in this book, unless I'm pronouncing that name wrong, but it's spelled N-O-A, so if there's a better pronunciation, let me know. I know Noah isn't right, so I'm just gonna make it sound even more weirder and go with Noah. She's 16 years old, and there's a transfer student at her school who seems a little iffy for her, so she's drawn to him, and she later finds out that he is Fae. Yes! Gotta love me the male Faes. Calum is a special kind of Fae where he needs a special kind of human energy, which is light. This light he needs to survive, his body steals it through touch. Or a kiss. I can see where this is gonna go, which is great. They try to be together, and he gets kidnapped, so she has to decide whether to go get him or not. Apparently Calum isn't the only one being hunted, and when he's taken, she has to decide whether to try and save him or not, because it might not be worth it in the end if they're never going to end up being together. I'm going to assume she does, considering it's a trilogy and this is the first book. So I'm really excited to read this book now. Now let's move on to free books that have already been released. And the first one is Everything for Her by Alexa Riley. I don't know, the back, it's kind of put into like his point of view. I'll never forget the way she looked. So confident and sure of herself. I watched her from a distance. She wasn't ready for me yet. So, I mean, it kind of goes through that, and then it kind of talks about the main character who's like starting a new life. She was at the top of her class when graduating, and I guess it just kind of goes through her life settling down. I don't really want to read too much into it because I can obviously sense that this is going to be a nice romantic book, and I love romance without really knowing anything. My next book that I got for free, I don't think it's an ARC. It's called Thrift Style, and it is by 3 people: Allison Engel, Reese Moore, and Margaret Engel. So this book is basically a how to shop cheap and how to make it look good, I'm going to assume, because that coat is adorable. And the last book that I got for free, which is already out, it is called Trueborn by Ellie Sterling, and it is the first book in the Trueborn trilogy. I'll let you hear what it has to say. See if you're interested. Welcome to Dominion City. Welcome. After the Great Plague descended, the world population was decimated and their genetics damaged beyond repair. The lasters wait hopelessly for their genes to self-destruct. The splicers pay for expensive treatments that might prolong their life. The plague-resistant trueborns are mysterious as they are feared. And then there's Lucy Fox and her identical twin sister Margaret. After endless tests, no one wants to reveal what they are. When Margaret disappears, a desperate Lucy has no choice but to put her faith to the trueborns, including the charismatic leader Nolan Storm and the beautiful but deadly Jared, who tempts her as much as he infuriates her. As Lucy and the trueborns set out to rescue her sister, they stumble upon a vast conspiracy stretching from Dominion street preachers to shady Russian tycoons. But why target the Fox sisters? As they say in Dominion, it's in the blood. So this book also sounds really good, and I'm already wondering when the second book is coming out because I want it. Okay, moving on. Let's do this. So the next books that I want to show you are our little classic unfolds is what they're labeled as, and they're so cute. They're so cute. Okay, so here we have Pride and Prejudice, Romeo and Juliet, The Secret Garden, and Alice in Wonderland. These are literally like the cutest things in the world. You can read them in like 5 minutes. But no, these things are like literally the cutest things. I like read through all of them in like no time whatsoever, which I've read this book. So like you've got like the beginning of this whole story, and then you turn on to the back and it's the rest of the story. It's literally the whole Pride and Prejudice story. So, the last section of books that I have are a bunch of ARCs that I obtained throughout Bookcon. And the first one is The Burning Girl by Claire Masood. I'm sorry. The outline of her face is a match, which I think is cool. So the next book we have is Bad Girls with Perfect Faces by Lynn Weingarten. I'm not good with names. And it's basically about a girl named Sasha who her best friend Xavier gets back together with his cheating ex, Ivy. Sasha, I guess, tries to sway Ivy away from Xavier by posing as a guy on the internet, and I guess it kind of backfires in some kind of way. So the next arc that I have is Odd and True by Kat Winters, and it kind of just has that cover of Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies. Kind of has that kind of feel to it. It is a magical historical fiction book. That's what it says on the back. The next book I have is by Michael Corinder, and it's called Running Full Tilt. It's really hard to read because it's within the foot. So this book is about a boy named Leo who is a junior in high school, and he has a brother named Caleb who is autistic. Because of Caleb, they have to move. This kind of sounds like a coming of age story or an adjustment kind of. The next book I have is called Like Vanessa, and it's by Tammy Charles. It looks like a middle grade because it has really cute flowers. This book is about a girl named Vanessa, and this actually isn't the Vanessa of the main character. This is Vanessa Williams, who apparently was the first Black Miss America. The next book I have is another middle grade book. Well, it is the first book, and I don't know how many books, but it's the first book, and it's called Midnight Reynolds and the Spectral Transformer. Okay. I like the cover. It's like really cute illustration. It's green and then like pop of orange. That's really nice. Kind of reminds me, kind of does have like that goosebump kind of feeling. The next book I have is called The Mortal Coil, and it's by Emily Savada. That sounds like a really cool last name if I'm pronouncing it right. It's like Red Powder Explosion. That's really cool. On the back, you probably can't tell. Okay, so on the back, it has a bunch of words, and within it, it has like white highlighted words that say, if you're reading this, it means I'm dead. Have completed a Hydra vaccine, our last chance at survival, you must decrypt it, never let them take you. Wow, that sounds like fun. Just that, it kind of just like, okay. The next book that I have is called The Waking Land, and as soon as I looked at this, I thought, Secret Garden. At least that was the feel I was getting. Lady Elena is devoted to the king who raised her like a daughter, but when he dies under mysterious circumstances, Elena is accused of his murder and must flee for her life. And it's just so pretty. I love this color palette. Oh, look how cute. Anyways, the next book that I have is called Select, and it is by Merritt Weisenberg. It's about a 17-year-old girl named Julia who is like a superior kind of human. She doesn't feel special at all. Her father decides to put her into public school. Oh my god. I love the cover. It's a butterfly. These are actually complementary colors, which is why they work so well together. The next book I have is called Saturdays with Hitchcock, and it's by Elaine Whitlinger. I may or may not have butchered that name. It means 12-year-old movie lover Macy is dealing with the realities of a grandfather with dementia, a mom who's been laid off from her job, finding out that Gary Hackett likes her, and a best friend who just confessed that actually he likes Gary likes. Macy's uncle Walt, a Hollywood actor, provides a welcome diversion from Macy's problems when he comes to stay with her family after being injured on a movie set. Uncle Walt has a way of pointing Macy in the right direction, and heading to the local independent theater on Saturdays with her best friend Cyrus to see old films keeps Macy grounded as she struggles with growing up, family tensions, and a love triangle she never expected. So this does kind of sound like a coming of age kind of story. The next arc that I got is called Falcon Wild, and it's by Terry Lynn Johnson. It is also a middle grade book, and it's about this girl whose name is Karma. She's 13 years old, and her father and brother get in an accident trying to return a falcon back into the wild, which Karma has become very fond of. It's not exactly coming of age since they're still pretty young, but it does deal with relationships. It seems like it's especially going to focus on the relationship between Karma and the falcon. The next book that I have is Blood and Ink, and it's by Stephen Davis. Oh, that's interesting. The front of the book, it has like a cell phone in the sand, and there's messages that say, "Run, Caddy, run." And apparently this is based on true to life events. It's supposed to be kind of like a love story, romance, and a thriller. So that just sounds interesting, blending those two together. The next one we have is Heating and Cooling, and it is by Beth Ann Finley. This is basically just a little arc of 52 micro memoirs of the author talking about her life as a mom, as a wife, as a writer, and then the ups and downs of life. The next one we have I can't really talk much about because it's the sequel to War of the Worlds, but this one is called The Massacre of Mankind, and it is by Stephen Baxter. I'm gonna guess it has something to do with aliens. And the last one that I got is called The Curse of the Work Family, and it's volume 1, The Battle Between Love and Hate, and it's by Valeria Lopez. This is probably gonna be a love story, a little romance. It's about a girl named Helen, and she's 17, and it's set in the year 1510 in France. All of Helen's closest relatives die throughout these trials. It says on the back, due to the notoriety of the Work family, the church, loyal to the wealthiest collaborators, didn't even bother to investigate the veracity of the accusation. So, along with free books, I also got a handful of samplers. The first sampler is actually like a little pack of samplers, and it's for The Forgetting, The No Good Deed, Everland, and Shadow Sharper. The next sampler I got is Warcross by Mary Lou, and I know nothing about this book, but I'm excited. I love Mary Lou's book. The next one I got is the I don't know what number book this is, but I know there's more of these out there. But it's called The School of Good and Evil, Quest for Glory. The next one that I'm so excited about is Because You Love to Hate Me, which is a variety of short stories that authors did, and a bunch of booktubers also got the chance to write in here. So Jessie from Jessie the Reader got to write a little thing in here, which I read, and I absolutely loved reading. It was the first thing I read within here because I was just really excited to see what he wrote. And then Christine from Poland and Bananas Books wrote something in here, but it wasn't included in the sampler, which kind of sucks, but I'm excited. And then I got a little Star Wars book, a little sampler of Star Wars. This is the Star Wars, and I think this is the Del Rey. That's my book haul, my Bookcon book haul of everything, basically. Now, I know most booktubers do the stack the books and carry as many as you can possibly attempt. And of course I'm going to do that. Why would I not do that? There's all my books. Ta-da! I think that was pretty successful. This isn't that hard. Yay! There we go. That's my book haul. I'm Munchkin from Munchkin's Wicked Reads. Hope you have a fantastic day. Don't let any good book go unread. I will see you next time. Goodbye! I got a sticker that says, YA fiction is my addiction. Yes, it is. I've been wanting tarot cards for forever. If anyone knows where to find like Infernal Device tarot cards, please let me know. Why is it the first names that I'm not getting now? Merit? It's a little accordion. Or I could just read it on the side. That's smart, Jessica.